The people who once looked down on you are now living in the shadow of their own poor choices. It is a classic story. A person never truly understands the worth of what they hold until it has been destroyed or taken away. They thought you were just another person they could use, a simple convenience they could replace whenever they felt like it. They believed they could trade your loyalty for something better, but they are finding out that there is no substitute for your soul. Now they are left with nothing but the fading echoes of the light you once brought into their lives, trying desperately to find their way in the dark. Listen to me very closely, because you are here for a reason. You didn't just stumble upon this message, you were guided here to be reminded of your true nature. You are an unstoppable force, a rare individual who changes the entire frequency of a room just by walking into it. Not everyone is equipped to handle that kind of power, and that is exactly why they tried to dim your shine. They attempted to manipulate you and break your spirit because, deep down, they realized you were the source of their strength long before you did. Now that you've reclaimed your energy, they are drowning in the silence you left behind. They left when you walked away, thinking your departure was just a minor setback in their grand plan. They viewed you as a replaceable piece on their chessboard, but they failed to realize you weren't a piece. You were the board itself. When you removed yourself from their life, the entire structure they built began to collapse around them. Their fake confidence is evaporating, and their influence is withering away. They are currently scrambling to rebuild what you once carried for them, but they will never succeed because you were the magic ingredient that made everything work. Without you, they are exposed, vulnerable, and rapidly being forgotten by the world. To the person who was cast aside like they were nothing, they thought they won the battle, but they are losing the war against their own regret. If you are reading this, it means you are finally waking up to your own magnitude. You are stepping into a version of yourself that is far too bright for them to look at directly. If you are ready to fully own your power and let them feel the true weight of your absence, then hit that like button and subscribe. Drop an 88 in the comments, the number of undeniable transformation. Let's break this down step by step so you can understand why they are currently falling apart. Some people only appear to shine because they are standing right next to the sun. When you take the sun away, they are revealed to be nothing more than another shadow in the dark. They used to think they were the main attraction, the person everyone wanted to be around, but the truth is they were just basking in your glow. They mistook your energy for their own and assumed they were the ones commanding the room. Now that you are gone, that illusion has been shattered for everyone to see. The phone has stopped ringing, the texts have dried up, and the world is moving on without them. Initially, they tried to brush it off, convinced that their life would continue as normal or even improve. They might have even convinced themselves that they had upgraded to someone better, but reality has a way of correcting those kinds of delusions. Silence is the loudest wake-up call a person can receive, and they are currently drowning in it. The friends who used to prioritize them are now distant, and the social status they held on to so tightly is crumbling. They were never the source of the respect or the influence. You were. People weren't drawn to them. They were drawn to the stability and wisdom you provided. You were the glue that held their entire world together, the foundation upon which their social life was built. Now that you have moved on, they are standing in the ruins of a house they don't know how to fix. They thought their connections were based on their own merit, but they are discovering that people only stayed around because of the energy you brought to the table. Without your presence to balance things out, their circle is caving in, and no one is sticking around to help them pick up the pieces. They are left wondering why their loyal friends are suddenly nowhere to be found. Think back to how much you did for them. You were the one who showed up when they were at their lowest, offering validation and direction when they felt lost. You lifted them up and made them feel important, and how did they repay that kindness? They took it for granted. They assumed your loyalty was an automatic part of the deal, something they never had to earn or maintain. But now that the guaranteed backing is gone, they are just another name on a contact list that nobody bothers to click. They are seeing that without you, they aren't nearly as significant as they imagined. A fool who thinks they have too many choices will almost always pick the wrong one. They truly believed they had endless options and that losing you was just a minor inconvenience. They told themselves there would always be another you waiting in the wings, someone who would provide the same depth and loyalty without the effort. Their ego whispered lies to them, telling them they could easily upgrade and move on to something more exciting. For a short time, they probably believed it, putting on a fake smile and trying to prove a point to anyone who would watch. However, time is undefeated, and it has a way of exposing the truth. Those options they were so excited about turned out to be shallow illusions. The temporary distractions lost their charm, and the cold reality started to set in. Not everyone is you. They mistook cheap validation for genuine soul-level connection, and now they are sitting in the emptiness of the choices they made. People get drunk on attention and start thinking they deserve more, but they forget that quantity never equals quality. They traded a diamond for a handful of gravel, and the regret is starting to burn. Some people don't actually want to grow. They just want a power source they can plug into. When you finally cut the supply, they are left standing in the dark, wondering where their magic went. They walked around acting like they were magnetic and influential, but every ounce of that power was actually yours. Your belief in them gave them the courage to face the world. Your words lifted them up and fueled their confidence. Because you were always there pouring your heart into them, they eventually mistook your light for their own internal flame. Now they are discovering they have no fuel left. The reality hit them like a wrecking ball, and it has been brutal to witness. They don't have that same presence anymore because their confidence was entirely hollow. They try to move the same way, talk the same way, and act the same way, but it isn't landing with anyone. Without you, they have lost their edge and their spark. They feel the weight of their own deep-seated insecurities creeping back in. They look in the mirror and see someone smaller and weaker than the version of themselves they saw when they were with you. They can't fake what they never truly possessed. A name without someone to protect it is a name that quickly fades into the background. When they had you, they didn't just have a partner or a friend, they had a warrior in their corner. You were the defender of their reputation and the protector of their integrity. When others doubted them, you were the one who set the record straight and made sure they were seen in the most positive light possible. You covered for their mistakes and gave them the benefit of the doubt, ensuring their name held weight in every room they entered. Now that protection has vanished, respect is not something that is automatically granted. It is earned and reinforced by the people who believe in you. They assumed that the respect they enjoyed would follow them no matter how they treated you, but they were wrong. The second you walked away, their credibility walked away with you. Now, when people mention their name, it is met with silence or whispers of doubt rather than admiration. Their so-called friends aren't stepping up to defend them because there was never much there to defend. Without you reinforcing their worth, they are just another face in the crowd, completely exposed to the world. It is easy to think you are self-made when someone else is doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. When they were with you, they felt unstoppable and convinced themselves they were the driving force behind their own success. But the truth is that you were the architect of their evolution. You were the strategist and the motivator who pushed them past their excuses and reminded them of their potential. You planted the seeds of ideas that they never would have come up with on their own. You believed in them when they were empty, and now that you're gone, they are frozen. They might try to play it cool, pretending they are just figuring things out. But the momentum is gone. The ambition they used to brag about has been replaced by a lingering sense of lethargy. They keep looking for motivation in all the wrong places, hoping to find someone else who will push them forward the way you did. But no one else is willing to invest that kind of energy into them. They are starting to feel the stagnation and the lack of purpose that comes from losing their North Star. They are moving backward while you continue to they took your attention for granted, treating your care and effort like a never-ending resource they didn't have to replenish. They assumed your devotion was a guarantee, a safety net they could fall back on whenever their ego needed a boost. But now the well has finally run dry. The notifications they used to ignore or take for granted are no longer popping up on their screen. They are staring at an empty phone, waiting for a check-in or a word of encouragement that is never going to come. They are starting to realize that your attention wasn't just nice, it was their lifeline. The world is moving on without them, and the realization is hitting them hard. They assumed anyone could replace the level of care you provided, but they are learning the hard way that rare energy cannot be manufactured. The compliments they get from others feel shallow and forced, lacking the depth and sincerity that you always brought. What they had with you wasn't a transaction, it was something real, and real things are incredibly hard to find in this world. Now they are lost in a cold, empty space, desperate for the warmth you used to provide so freely. Some people spend their whole lives thinking they are the lead actor, only to realize they were just an extra in someone else's story. They walked around with their heads held high, convinced that the world revolved around them. They believed their presence alone was enough to command the room, but they are waking up to a very different reality. They were only respected because they were associated with your light. You were the gravity that held their world together, and without you, they are simply floating off into total obscurity. They are losing the identity they stole from you. Look at them now. Nobody is waiting for their input, and no one is asking for their opinion. Conversations move forward without them, and plans are made as if they don't even exist. The validation they craved has vanished because they were never the actual star of the show. You were the one who made them look important and relevant, and now that you have stepped away, the spotlight has followed you. They are struggling to hold onto a sense of self that was never theirs to begin with, and they can't stop the decline into irrelevance. When a person has a weak foundation, they rely on others to prop them up. You were the support system that kept their self-doubt at bay. You were the mirror that reflected a version of them that was stronger and more capable than they actually felt. Now that the mirror is gone, they are forced to look at their true self, and they don't like what they see. The insecurities they used to hide under your constant validation are now screaming in the silence. They are alone with their own thoughts, and the noise of their regret is becoming unbearable. They told themselves they didn't need you, but they are finding out that they never actually believed in themselves. It was your belief in them that gave them the illusion of confidence. They were attractive because you told them they were. They were important because you made them feel that way. Now they are questioning everything, wondering if they were ever special at all. The swagger they used to flaunt has been replaced by a hollow shell of a person who doesn't know how to stand on their own 2 feet. They know they will never find another person like you. Some people don't realize they are living in a castle until the walls come crashing down around them. They thought they had you under their control, thinking they could test your patience forever without consequences. They mistook your loyalty for weakness and your kindness for submissiveness. They got far too comfortable, assuming your presence was a right rather than a privilege. They stopped trying and started slacking, treating you like a given rather than a gift, but they fumbled the bag in the worst way possible, and now they have absolutely nothing to show for it. Loyalty is a conscious choice, not a permanent obligation. Once you stopped choosing them, they lost the only stable thing they had in their lives. Now their world is unraveling at the seams, and the control they thought they had has vanished. They don't have that safety net to catch them when they fall, and they are stumbling through life off kilter. They don't just miss you as a person, they miss the stability and the peace of mind that came with having you in their corner. They are finally realizing that you were the best thing that ever happened to them. You cannot fake a real soul-to-soul connection, no matter how hard you try. They thought they could just find someone else and paste the relationship you had, but life doesn't work that way. They walked away from something priceless and stepped into a world of shallow interactions and empty words. Every option they have pursued since you left has felt like a cheap, plastic imitation of the genuine bond you shared. They are discovering that the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's actually artificial and doesn't provide any real sustenance. Real connection is dangerous to the ego because it forces you to be honest and vulnerable. You saw them for who they truly were, and that intimacy was something they weren't ready to handle. Now they are lost in a sea of surface-level relationships where no one truly knows them or cares about their well-being. People they are with now won't go to war for them or tolerate their flaws the way you did. They are choking on their own mistake, realizing that what you gave them was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of love that they foolishly threw away. There is an apology sitting in their throat that they will probably never have the courage to say. They know they messed up, and that knowledge is eating them alive from the inside out. They won't give you the satisfaction of hearing them admit it because their pride is a prison they have locked themselves into. They thought that by ignoring their mistake, it would eventually go away, but regret doesn't work like that. It lingers in the quiet moments in the middle of the night when the distractions fade, reminding them of the loyalty they discarded. They see the flashbacks of how they should have treated you, and the weight of those memories is becoming a heavy burden. They can pretend to be happy all they want, but the people around them can feel the shift in their energy. They are carrying the ghost of their mistake wherever they go, and it is polluting every new thing they try to build. They won't say the words "I'm sorry," because it means admitting they lost someone they can never replace. But their silence speaks louder than any apology ever could, and it is a weight they will carry forever. They are putting on a grand performance for the world, trying to convince everyone, including themselves, that they are doing just fine. They post the photos, they go to the parties, and they act unbothered, but the act is starting to wear thin. Real healing and moving on can't be faked with a filter or a forced smile. It is a silent and raw process that they haven't even begun because they are too busy trying to maintain an illusion. They are flooding their lives with noise to avoid the crushing emptiness that hits them the moment they are alone. Every song they hear or place they visit reminds them of the space you used to fill. They thought replacing you would be easy, but no one matches your energy or your presence. Their new connections are forced and hollow, and deep down they know it. They laugh, but the joy doesn't reach their eyes. They move forward, but every step feels like they are dragging a heavy chain behind them. The past isn't behind them, it's right there in the room with them, growing louder every time they try to ignore it. They haven't moved on, they've just lost their way. Watching you win without them is the ultimate punishment for their arrogance. They truly believed that you would fall apart without them, but instead you are thriving. They are sitting on the sidelines, lurking on your social media and keeping tabs on your progress because they can't believe how well you are doing. Every goal you achieve and every smile you share is a reminder of the greatness they walked away from. Your success is a haunting testament to the fact that they were the problem all along, and that realization is unbearable for them. They are seeing you become the person you were always meant to be, strong, confident, and whole. They know they should have been there to celebrate with you, but they lost that right the moment they underestimated you. They are realizing that you weren't just a part of their success. You were the reason for it. Now, as you continue to rise to new heights, they are left behind in the valley of their own making. You are too busy building your empire to ever look back, and that is the most powerful thing you can ever do. You were never meant to stay in the place where they tried to keep you. You are a chosen one, someone with a destiny that far exceeds the small-mindedness of the people who tried to hold you back. The pain you felt when they let you go was just the friction of you breaking free from their limitations. Now that you are untethered, there is no limit to how far you can go. You have transmuted their rejection into the fuel for your transformation, and the result is nothing short of miraculous. You are finally standing in your own light. Remember this, the best revenge isn't getting even. It's being so happy and successful that their existence doesn't even cross your mind anymore. You have reclaimed your power, your peace, and your future. They are left with the regret, while you are left with the rewards of your own growth. Keep going, keep rising, and never let anyone make you doubt your worth ever again. You are the source, the prize, and the power. If you felt this message in your soul, make sure to share it with someone who needs to hear the truth today. The story of them is over, and the story of you is just getting started. You have survived the trials and come out stronger on the other side. You don't need their validation or their presence to be great. You already are. The weight they are feeling right now is the natural consequence of losing a soul as bright as yours. Let them sit with that weight while you float to the top. You have a world to conquer and a life to live that is far bigger than anything they could have ever offered you. Walk into your future with your head held high. If you are ready to leave the past behind and step into your season of undeniable success, then this is your sign. The universe is aligning in your favor because you finally had the courage to choose yourself. Stay focused on your goals, keep your energy protected, and watch how quickly your life changes for the better. You are the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Remember to stay locked in, stay powerful, and never look back.